Okay. I guess I'm live. Live. He's alive. All right. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an associate professor. Actually, let me just take a step back. All right. So I want to talk about actually building this whole reciprocity community because I could really, really, really use your help with it. And all of you that are following along, it is absolutely amazing that you're here. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole Reciprocity Project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people who help me out, and I want to pay the favor forward to help you out. So I want to talk actually about the whole Reciprocity Project at this moment and why I'm actually doing this, because I think it's something that we can all use that, it's really, really, really important for anybody that's doing the research game. So when I was in graduate school, I really struggled at things and I really had some great advisors. I had resources that I can turn to, but I really still I didn't feel like I belonged in a lot of different ways. And I felt really bad. I got into kind of a really bad funk. After I got out, I started to look back and started thinking about like, man, if only we had some sort of resource, if only we had some sort of community to help each other out, I think we can go a long ways. And I began this journey as creating kind of like this sharing economy editing app to help out because I thought the real problem that I had was really writing and struggling with writing, which is actually a real thing. And I'm still going to build that out because I think we do need resources like this. But I think what is really going on, I think a bigger thing is really understanding that this is a struggle and knowing that there's other people that are out there that are struggling doing the research game, doing things like, just doing the work that we do. Nobody's really openly talking about that. So I wanted to start talking about that because there's often two responses that you see with people that are in the research game for a long time or, PhD students that you really see this a lot throughout the process. There's kind of two responses that you see. The first response is that people just really, they go kind of blank and they go hollow. And I think that was kind of more along the lines that I went with, is that you just kind of, you kind of lose faith and you really go through this sort of weird process where you're blank in the inside. And you pull back, and it's kind of like experiencing trauma, I guess. Going through a PhD program and doing a PhD is very much that way, where you're just kind of not used to it. And the other sort of response is that people get ultra competitive and they start sort of pushing other people away. And I kind of did that too as well, especially early on in my PhD program for the first 2 or 3 years, for sure, maybe even 4 years. I was really into that sort of competitive state, and that's not healthy either. And so I wanted to build resources to prevent people from going into these kind of weird responses, these weird sort of ways, and let people know that, it's okay to be a normal human being. It's okay to have these struggles. It's okay to openly talk about these things and go through all of it. And just let people know that, yes, there's other people that are just like you going through the exact same thing and dealing with all of these sort of emotions and dealing with all of the troubles that we go through, because it is a real journey when you are doing a PhD, when you're in graduate school, when you're even thinking about it. I mean, people don't realize how ridiculously tough and a struggle it is. Not only so, I compare it with entrepreneurship. I think it's very similar to that. But here's the thing: the difference with entrepreneurship, at least you have that sort of long-term perspective that you can actually maybe get there someday and there'll be some big thing. But when you're doing a PhD, it's really, you don't make a lot of money for a very, very long time. A lot of graduate students do, they actually don't make that much money for a very, very long time. And so you get used to living very meagerly and living off of not very much. And our lifestyle has not changed that much. After, like, me and my wife, we haven't really changed that much in terms of how we live. We live a little bit better, I guess, but not really, because you get used to that for so long of living like that, and that becomes part of who you are. And so there's all these kind of confounds that goes on in terms of the struggle that you deal with and the sort of emotional aspects of it, that I really want people to know that they are normal, and that this is okay. And so as this whole Reciprocity Project has evolved, and this has become a thing, is I want to actually share this kind of story and to let people know that they can get through their research. They can get through it just by simply, putting your nose down and just working at it, but then living a normal life, being okay with yourself. So I've been putting out all of these resources to help you, and I'm going to continue to do this every day because I think it is vital for all of us. I think it's very vital for science to know. I think this is the key thing. People, you're just like totally wrong on this in terms of, oh, we need more knowledge, we need more. No. What we need is, we need people to believe in themselves and have faith in themselves to do good science, to do the things that they need to do. We've got all of these, I was looking at this before, and I think it's kind of really strange. We've got all these sort of motivational, videos online about how to become a very successful entrepreneur, or even these like YouTube motivation videos and stuff that I've been sort of YouTuber motivation, because I've been looking at it too. And it's really cool, right? You see like these people that Mr. Beast, you all know Mr. Beast. So you see these folks that, they've done extremely well for themselves, and, how do you actually get there and stuff. But there's nobody helping out academics. There's nobody that's helping out PhDs. There's nobody that's giving you guys, you folks, a shout out and saying, you're doing amazing and you're doing really, really, really well. And just to keep at it, just to keep going every day, getting that sort of emotional support every single day. I think it is so vital for science, and it's so forgotten in science, and it's so just overlooked. I don't think that this is as appreciated as much as it should be. I think that this is very vital, and that's why I've been doing this and actually telling the story and getting it out there. Because if you know me, probably a lot of maybe have watched some of my videos and stuff and kind of get a sense of, I didn't really start out with much, and we're doing okay now. I'm sort of tenured professor and all that kind of stuff, but I did not start out with that much. And the way that you do that is you just do the grind every day. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and you don't stop. And you just keep moving forward, and you have that belief in yourself that you can do this. And what's been really cool is I'm starting to get emails now, because I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I'm starting to get emails now from people all around the world that, not only to get them out of a funk, because we all have these sort of moments when we're in graduate school, or, we're researchers or professors or whatever, we're in a funk. We get that. I get that all the time. I'm very real on this channel. But what's cool is I'm starting to see people that are like, they're getting into the top programs in the world, because I recently, a few weeks ago, got into a top program because of something that they watched on these channels. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then recently, Flory, I don't know if he's ever going to watch this video, but he sent me something that he started following this a couple of years ago. And he's finishing his dissertation, like amazing stuff, right? And he's doing it online, and so it's really hard to do that online. That's why I don't like kind of online programs, is because it's just bloody hard to do it without the support and stuff like that. But for all of you that are going through this, know that you can do this, and that's what the message is. The more that I see this, the more I'm like, this is amazing to see people do well in this world with just having that. And if I could be that weird one kooky strange person, that weirdo on the internet, that if I could be that one person to encourage you to keep going, to get up and do that grind, and just know that you're going to get there. I think that this is a really important thing, and I think so. Here's the thing, too. I want you all to help out. Because I can't do this by myself. I think that this is a vital thing that we forget. These things that sort of change mindsets, and we get people to believe in themselves in a bigger sense. It takes a community, and I really, really need you all to participate in every possible way that you can. I know that a lot of you can't, but if you could just smile, that's all I want, is to smile at other people and just say, hey, have a beautiful day. But if you want to go more and contribute in different ways, that's amazing. Passing on the message of reciprocity and helping paying things forward or whatever. Buying credits on the side. I could really use that. It's a real struggle to get this thing. Like, you just get people to use it. Anyways, but the biggest thing is, I just want you all to be really nice to each other and build this kind of community, and know that there's support there, that there's other people out there going through the same journeys, going through the same processes, and knowing that they're totally normal. And that's what I want. And that's what my belief that I think we can do as a community. For all of you that are following along, I know that we can do this. So there's one question. So somebody had mentioned, okay, so I'm just going to answer this question, and then I'm probably going to head out because I got to get to my own work, right? So MF says, I passed my master's in 2019, rejected for PhD funding, blah, waiting for another funding and applied for another paid PhD project. I'm 24. What do you feel about my situation? You know what? You're really, really young. You forget how young you are. And if you really want to do this career, you got to take a long-term perspective. And if it's not going to work out this year, you refine what you're doing. This is my message all the time. You refine what you're doing. If you're really passionate about it, you got to keep going. And you get rejected once, that's nothing. You have no idea how many times you actually get rejected in this career, over and over and over again. You're going to get rejected for every 10 things that you do. For every big 10 things that you do, you're going to get rejected for 8 of them. So don't you dare give up on yourself. Don't you dare stop. If you believe in this and you believe in yourself, you keep going, you refine, you look at to see, okay, what is the problem that I have? What is it? What's going on? What am I doing that is sort of, what can I change? What can I improve? And if it is you're doing something that's like kind of blanket application to everywhere, I'm going to tell you this, that's BS. It's not going to work. It rarely works for anybody. You've got to look at the different researchers, find out who you really, who you actually really, really appeal to, and actually talk to them specifically. Like, reach out to them and talk to them and get sort of a sense. But don't like pester them. But follow their research, read what they've done, and speak in your application to those specific individuals, and really you'll start to resonate with them a lot more, even if your application is not that great. But if your application is not that great, take the time to take a couple courses to build it up that support what their research is, right? So if they're doing something that's like, that is, I don't know, maybe it's something to do with, machine learning. I don't know. I have no idea. Whatever it is, then take a couple of courses on machine learning. They're not going to take you if you don't do that kind of stuff. You have to like invest in yourself so you become a valuable asset for them. Because what they're looking at is they're saying, this person is going to be a time sink. That's what I think. Everybody thinks like that is doing this. This is a time sink. I don't want to invest that much time into somebody and then they're going to go away and burn me. Heck no. I want people that are going to be happy, that are going to be, cheerful, and they're still going to work at this, and they're going to keep going and pushing forward at this. That's what I want, is somebody that's determined, that is just, a joy to be around. And if you can find that, that's amazing. So 2 more comments. I really gotta get going. Okay, so gosh, Shukamita Carr. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names, even though I have a weird last name. I'm stuck 1.5 years into my PhD, and supervised asking me to start over with a new project. I'm 26. He even told me that a PhD is not for me. This shook me up coming from him. Sometimes that is the case. I really truly believe that. So you have to really think about that. Is this really for you? And think about it. I've got a bunch of videos on like whether you should quit or something, but rationally, don't take somebody's advice. Rationally sit down and think about it. It's because it's an emotional thing. So actually do an Excel spreadsheet and thinking about the different opportunities and options that you have, and go through that Excel spreadsheet and list out what are the options that you could do and what you're doing. And if you're really struggling with it, and you get multiple sources from multiple people that are telling you you're really struggling, a PhD is not for everybody. That's okay. And you can have an amazing career in so many other different ways. In fact, a PhD is really just, it's a struggle. It's very expensive in a lot of different ways. That's why I tell all of you to don't get wedded to it. Don't get emotionally wedded to it. It's just a freaking degree. It's just like, it's a stupid degree. It doesn't matter. So don't get wedded to it. Take a really unemotional kind of like, what is it that's going on? How can I improve what's going on? And what is the next steps going forward? Like, do Excel spreadsheet about your life. You'd be surprised how many people don't do that. It seems weird, but sit down and actually do that. That's going to help you out. Thanks so much, Evie. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your perspectives, Dr. Maslach. Keep up the positivity. I appreciate everything that you do, and that you're actually following along. It's absolutely amazing. So that's all. So MF says, I invest my time in research solely instead of getting a job for another year. Does it impact my chances of getting? Yeah, heck yeah. What? Right? If you look like you've done work for a year and you built this thing out, and it's going to make a difference. But at the same time, you need to eat and you need to like live. So find a job that you can do that you can do it on the spare time. And if you passionately do this on the weekends, at night, just like what I'm doing, right? Like the silly thing, this Reciprocity Project. I mean, you are passionate about it. People are going to notice, and that becomes a thing, right? Like you will do that. So live, pay your debts, and have a real life. But then at the same time, keep just being passionately working at this and pushing forward at it. And if you can live for free, live at your parents' house and do research the whole time, that's awesome. That's what it takes. That's honestly, and I can't guarantee that you're going to get into a PhD program, but man, that looks amazing if you did that. And you actually said, I did this. I spent the entire year working on this, building this thing out, following your research. I am super passionate about what you're doing. People are going to notice. It's going to be really, really important to do that. So thanks again, you all, for paying attention, and we'll see you on the next video. I absolutely appreciate everything that you do. So spread the word. Be nice to other people. Smile. You all are amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Take care, and you're awesome too. Bye. Oh, I should do that. See you later.